We are now 40 games into the NBA season, and I cannot believe we are already at the halfway point basically in the season, but here we are. And the Sacramento Kings, your Sacramento Kings, are the 5th seed in the Western Conference with a 21-18 record. They have had some really good wins, and they've had some, losses, but they are still, at this point in the season, we can comfortably say that they are a good team. More importantly, we can say that they have an elite offense. They are top 5 in offense per cleaning the glass, and it's for a number of reasons, and I want to talk about those reasons. I don't think they're a contender or anything, but I think Kings fans are just happy that they not only have a good team with players that have a case to make the All-Star team, they have a fun team, more importantly, and a team that has an identity, and it's coming off of a well-constructed roster that was put together by Monte McNair over the summer. Good coaching by head coach Mike Brown and his coaching staff, and there are a number of reasons why the Kings offense is elite still to this point in the season. It's not a fluke. It hasn't been a fluke all year. It's all sustainable, and we're going to get into the reasons why. So let's get to it. So first and foremost, I have to bring up this reason first. The number one reason the Kings offense is elite right now is Domantas Sabonis, who has been absolutely spectacular for the Kings this year. If the Kings were to get one All-Star, one guy has to make it from the Sacramento Kings, and I would pick Domantas Sabonis, and he is the main engine. Him and DeAaron Fox are the two fulcrums of the Kings offense, but the main engine to me is Domantas Sabonis. He is averaging career highs across the board in terms of field goal percentage, rebounds per game, assists per game, and it's not just the numbers. It's the fact that going back to last year, he gave the Kings a new dimension to the offense that's allowed them to do a number of things. Running offense through the post, running offense through the high post, having a center who can grab the rebound and go in transition. And we're going to dive deeper into some of the offensive stuff the Kings run because it's a variety of things, and we'll talk about that variety later. But we're starting with the player first. Domantas Sabonis is the type of player you can just run a bunch of things through as an offensive hub. He hits cutters. He has dribble handoff chemistry with nearly everybody on the roster. When you play with a center like a Domantas Sabonis, who is kind of in the same cloth as a Nikola Jokic, just somebody who players know if they just cut backdoor, if they move around Sabonis, if they get in screening actions with Sabonis, they know that they are going to get a good shot. Kevin Huerter is the first person who comes to mind, and that's one of the great trades that the Sacramento Kings have made in their franchise history. Kevin Huerter averaging career highs across the board, but more importantly, has just gained immediate chemistry with Domantas Sabonis, especially in the dribble handoffs. Kevin Huerter leads the NBA in points out of the dribble handoff, and it's because Sabonis, with his ability to find cutters, find open shooters, initiate dribble handoff actions, and then screening off the defender that's chasing Kevin Huerter, that's just opened up a whole bunch of things for the Kings offense. And a number of players and roster acquisitions that Monte McNair, the GM, has made over the summer has opened things up for Sabonis himself. I think this is the first team that is tailor-made completely towards Domantas Sabonis' strengths, because in Oklahoma City, as a rookie, he had to play with Russell Westbrook, and really it wasn't built towards him, and he was still finding himself as a player. Then he went to Indiana, and he had to share the front court with Miles Turner, and they tried to make it work. Those Pacer teams, especially with Victor Oladipo, were solid teams, but it was never really tailor-made for Sabonis. This is the first team that has been tailor-made for Domantas Sabonis in his career, and he is putting up career numbers, and the Kings right now are the 5th seed because of Domantas Sabonis. And another player I want to mention, which is the second reason. The De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis two-man game is just unguardable. It's very efficient. It just allows the Kings to add more and more wrinkles to the offense. De'Aaron Fox is having the best season of his career. He also has a case to make the All-Star team as well. He is putting up a career high in efficiency in terms from the field. Now, the three-point shooting has been down compared to when he got off to the hot start start to start the season, but he is still maintaining his high 2-point percentage. He is getting to the rim at will. He is one of the best clutch players in the NBA. Look at all the clutch stats. You'll see them up on the board. They have been ridiculous, especially the last few games in particular for DeAaron Fox. But Domantas Sabonis has also opened things up for DeAaron Fox just in terms of when Sabonis is operating in the high post, that just lifts the defending center, and a bunch of players on the Kings know that they can just cut backdoor, especially with Fox's speed. He can go backdoor on a defender, or they can run split actions, and that's one thing Mike Brown has brought over from the Golden State Warriors, is those post split actions that Golden State has made so infamous with Draymond Green and Stephen Clay, except it's a little different this time. The post split actions that the Kings run with Sabonis involving Fox is you'll see Fox screening for Kevin Huerter, and Kevin Huerter, one of the reasons that was a good acquisition is because Kevin Huerter is one of those oh shit shooters where defenders just freak out whenever Kevin Huerter is moving off the ball. And when you got De'Aaron Fox screening Kevin Huerter's man while Huerter is coming off of a screen, combine that with Fox's speed, you'll see a lot of backdoors that Fox is getting, and Sabonis is just dotting people on the money for easy looks. And not only that, you could still run pick and roll action with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis with Fox as the ball handler, because now Fox has a center for the first time in his career that can do multifaceted things out of the pick and roll. If Fox hits Sabonis as the roll man, Domantas Sabonis is going to bruise somebody to the basket because he is built like a brick shithouse. That's why they call him the Ox. He just bullies people over with his physicality. And also, Domantas Sabonis is a great passer, so he's going to hit people on the short roll. And Fox has somebody that he can throw the ball to, and the roll man will catch it and do a bunch of things. So the Fox pick and roll with Domantas Sabonis is deadly. The post-ups with Domantas Sabonis with De'Aaron Fox cutting off of his post actions and post splits, that is also deadly. And Fox is enjoying a great career year because him and Domantas Sabonis have this two-man chemistry, and when your two best offensive players have the chemistry that they have, it just makes everything orbiting around them that much more effective and efficient. And it's not just, Kevin Huerter spacing the floor. Keegan Murray, who is now shooting 41% from three after kind of a slow start to the season. Keegan Murray is back on track shooting 41% from three. Harrison Barnes is spacing the floor as well. And Harrison Barnes, he's shooting 33% from three right now, but I kind of expect him to progress back to the mean because he shot 38% for his career in Sacramento. I expect that to bounce back. And it's not just, and we're going to move on to the third reason. It's the variety of things that the Fox and Sabonis two-man game opens up for the entire Kings offense. The spacing with the shooters. Malik Mink is a microwave scorer. He is also kind of shooting not to his usual standards from three-point range. Somebody who has shot 39% or so the last 2 years is shooting 31.8%. Malik Mink is still a dynamite scorer off the bench for the Kings, and another player who has had very apparent chemistry with Domantas Sabonis. Malik Mink knows when to cut, when to run off of screens when Sabonis is in the high post or the post, and he has gained some pick and roll chemistry with Mink as the ball handler, has gained some pick and roll chemistry with Sabonis as well. The menu of stuff that the Kings offense has is incredible. So they are the number one dribble handoff team in the NBA, meaning they run the most dribble handoff possessions. In terms of points out of the dribble handoffs, they're top 3 in that. They're top 3 in points per possession out of the DHO. The cutting, they have the 4th most cutting possessions in the NBA per game. They are the 5th most frequent cutting team in the NBA. They score the 2nd most in terms of points per possession out of cuts, the 3rd most points total per game out of cuts, and that just speaks to Domantas Sabonis being a hub. Whenever you have a center, like I mentioned, kind of like a Nikola Jokic or even a Joel Embiid who has gotten better in terms of passing, players know that they are going to get open looks out of that because it's not just the passing that Sabonis provides, it's the scoring too, because they can dominate mismatches. If somebody switches a pick and roll, Domantas Sabonis can bruise and bully a smaller defender and get to the cup. He's shooting 61.5% from the field, and that is out of post-ups, out of bruising mismatches. and that adds another wrinkle and allows more stuff to open up for Sabonis to hit people with passes. And then, if possessions don't work and they're at the end of the shot clock, the Kings, they run isolation pretty well. They average the 4th most points per possession out of isolations. Their 2 best offensive players, DeAaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, they average over a point per possession out of isolations and shoot efficiently. DeAaron Fox, I believe, is shooting nearly 52% out of isolations. Sabonis is around 60%. And by the way, Harrison Barnes, who has been one of the elder statesmen of the Kings, he can also score out of isolations. He's averaging 1.25 points per possession out of isolations as well. So whenever stuff breaks down, the Kings have a lot of players. They even have Malik Mink who can score in a pinch. The Kings offense, when you have players like this and a team built around somebody like Sabonis and the combination of Sabonis and Fox, you can filter out so many bad offensive possessions and just get good looks every time down the floor because they can just run a variety of stuff. Remember when I talked about in my Kings video before the season started how it was a joke that previous head coach Luke Walton never got the Kings back in the top 3 in pace in the NBA after that 2018-19 season where they fired Dave Yeager for no reason? Well, the Kings are 4th in pace, they are 1st in transition possessions, and they score 24.5 points per game out of transition, which is the 5th best in the NBA. And by the way, like I mentioned, they average 1.15 points per possession out of the pick and roll. There is so much variety to this Kings offense. They can run so many different things and score so effectively out of different things. This offense is absolutely sustainable. They could score with anybody in the NBA. If you look up on the screen, the De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis lineups, they just kill teams. Look at the offensive rating with those two at any point in any lineup. They could do so many things off of these two that opposing defenses have a tough time pinpointing what to stop. One night it can be Kevin Huerter on fire from 3. One night it could be Keegan Murray like last night against the Magic going 5 for 6 from 3. One night it can be De'Aaron Fox scoring 22 points in the fucking 4th quarter against the Utah Jazz. And that's not even mentioning unsung heroes like Trey Lyles. I know the Kings have some issues with the backup center, and I think that's going to be an issue all year. I can tell you as a Sixer fan, and probably Denver Nuggets fans can tell you this, I have a theory that this is it is difficult to find a backup center to somebody that is a main fulcrum like a Domantas Sabonis, Nikola Jokic, or a Joel Embiid, where so much stuff runs through them and they're so unique in how they play and how the team hovers around them that it's just going to be inherently tough all the time to find a backup center that can, tread water. I think it's just going to be tough inherently to find good backup bigs that can tread water like that, but I do think the backup big thing is an issue. Mike Brown has cycled through Rashawn Holmes, Chimezie Metu, Alex Len has gotten some minutes here and there, Neemias Queta has barely played. That will be an issue down the road, but I think that's just inherently always going to be an issue, especially when your identity and your elite offense is built mainly around a center like Domantas Sabonis who can just open up everything for everybody. But that's another issue for down the road. This team is one of the most fun teams in the NBA to watch. I'm so happy that Kings fans get to experience a good team, a good solid team that has an identity with good players. And the Beam is one of my favorite bits in the NBA. I absolutely love it. I've seen the Beam in person. It is cool. I've been to a few Kings games this year. It has been absolutely electric just watching this crowd embrace just a team that also seems to embrace wanting to bring the Kings to their first playoffs in 16 years.